If you're considering a move in 2025 to Nashville, Tennessee, this is the video for you. Nashville can be quite confusing. If you haven't noticed, a lot of our roads go in scribble pictures. And also, Nashville is a 9-county SMSA. That whole Middle Tennessee area is a very big area. If you're beginning your search, or even if you're way into it and going, I'm definitely moving to Nashville, this will help you when you and I have that really important phone call to talk about the things you really want in an area, in a community, that'll help you narrow down in your search the right key places to take a look at. Then we'll delve into particular cities, Franklin, Brentwood, Mount Juliet. But let me show you where they are on the map. Let me show you how they geographically fit into the whole scheme of things, and I think you'll understand a whole lot better. So let's dive in. Take a look at the map. Here's Nashville, obviously, downtown Nashville area. So what I want you to see is we have several different loops. This is the I-40 loop, so that you've then got several different interstates. Now, if you'll take a notice, one of the big things that makes Nashville so popular is the fact that we do have 3 interstates. It makes it simple for transportation, and obviously a lot of cities really have grown because of that access. When you've got Interstate I-24 takes you down into Nashville. You've got Interstate I-65 that takes you up into Nashville from the south, and you've got I-24 that comes from the southeast area. They all come in toward Nashville. That really makes it simple. Now, one of the other things you're going to notice is finally we have Interstate 440. Also, then we have Interstate 40 that takes you out from east into Nashville. Way over here is Knoxville, or coming in all the way through Nashville and you go back out the other way toward Memphis. That's I-40. So we have 4 different interstates that surround Nashville. Now let me make that a little bit easier for you. The other thing that you want to take notice of is we've got another access, so you don't have to drive all the way into Nashville now to get to these interstates. If you're down here in Spring Hill and you need to get up toward Clarksville or Springfield, up toward Kentucky, you don't want to have to go through Nashville and get there. What you could do is come up Spring Hill and then go I-840 all the way around. It takes you around. So you can skip Nashville, or you come over from the west and go over to I-40 if you're going on down toward Memphis. So although we don't have great public transportation, certainly into these outer areas, you're going to be Ubering it. But what we do have is trying to circumvent having to go downtown to the very, very busy areas. So let me put Nashville back up here, and let's talk about some of the areas that I know you've heard me speak of in some of the other videos. Nashville is in Davidson County. Some of the main areas around Davidson County is that you would have heard of. Some main suburbs might be Belmead, Forest Hills, Oak Hill. They all circle around in this area. You got Germantown, East Nashville, a lot of the areas that you've heard of right here. That's inside of the Davidson County line. But when you get further down south, I want to take you about right here, coming down I-65. This is Brentwood. So we're right at the Davidson-Williamson County line here. Part of Brentwood is in Davidson County and part is in Williamson County. So if you want your children to be in a specific county because of the schools, when you're looking at Zillow or all the places that I know you're looking, then you've got to realize that Zillow is going to show you a home in Brentwood, and you might think, why in the world is this house so inexpensive when this other 4-bedroom house in Brentwood that looks like it's less than a mile away is a good $40,000, $50,000 difference. The difference is the school district. The difference is because it straddles the Davidson-Williamson County line. So that's just something to watch out for. But in Williamson County, you have Brentwood is one of the major cities you've heard of, Franklin. Everybody talks about. When you come over to the east side a little bit, you've got Nolensville right here. Then we'll also put you over into Fairview. Now I have videos about each one of these areas. Come further south down Williamson County past Franklin, you get to Thompson Station and Spring Hill. Spring Hill is another one that can be kind of complicated for you. All the cities that I have circled right here are part of Williamson County, that great school district that people always talk about. Now, Spring Hill also does exactly what I've mentioned up in Brentwood. It straddles the line between Maury County. Spring Hill straddles the line between Maury County and Williamson County. So again, Spring Hill, if you're going to see a Spring Hill listing and you don't have children, just go a little bit on the other side of the county line and the price differential is going to be pretty significant to you. If you have children, then just recognize to get in those Williamson County schools, there's going to be a pricier difference, just put it that way. So that's basically looking at Williamson County. Now I have video about each one of these areas that you can search out for here in YouTube, and I'll put some links for them as well. Let's go the other direction that a lot of people are asking me about, and that's going out east past the airport, and this is Wilson County. So one of the main cities here is Mount Juliet. Now about right here is the airport, but right about right here is the airport. So as you can see, it's very easy access to get into Nashville going out I-40 or in I-40 in Wilson County, easily to get to Nashville. It's airport is about halfway between the two. By the way, have you heard that our B&A airport, one is rumored to maybe change its name pretty soon, but I don't think that's going to happen. But number two, there are 3 now direct flights coming this spring to United Kingdom, to Ireland, and a third one that I cannot remember at the moment, and I'll put up a picture so you can see it. So another main city that you're going to find in Wilson County that gives you easy access into Nashville, that's going to put you Mount Juliet probably in heavy traffic, 30 to 40 minutes from home, depending on how far into Mount Juliet you go. You can also go over into Lebanon, and Lebanon is in Wilson County as well. Again, that's more rural than Mount Juliet is. It's a little less expensive than Mount Juliet is. It doesn't have as much new construction as Mount Juliet, but it is a great access point. Wilson County schools, I think you'll find also with some of the top schools in the area. And what this does is puts you between Mount Juliet and Lebanon, is really between the 2 lakes. Mount Juliet is called Land Between the Lakes. So it's between here, Percy Priest Lake, and then Old Hickory Lake up here. And we're going to hit that in a minute. But it puts you as land between the lakes, the great parks, great family atmosphere, lots of new construction, some older areas. When you go further out, as you can see in Lebanon, the white areas is showing you kind of how large the cities are on each. So you can see how Brentwood kind of merges into and morphs into Franklin. But when you're looking at this one, say Mount Juliet shows a smaller white spot where the city is, and then Lebanon even a smaller, and you can see a lot of green space in between that. It's kind of a visual for you to get an idea of how rural a place might be. So that puts you into Wilson County. Let's go back up into Sumner County. All right, so let's go back to our baseline of Nashville. And what we're going to find, let's go over into Sumner County. Up here, we're going to find Hendersonville, right here at Old Hickory Lake. And you're also going to find the other main city in the area is Gallatin. Again, well-known school districts. Please do your own research for greatschools.org. The good school districts, Hendersonville and Gallatin, if you like lake life, if you want to be a little bit more rural, if you want to be a little bit more price conscious than in new construction in Mount Juliet versus new construction in Hendersonville. If you're very price conscious and still want good schools and you still don't want to be downtown Nashville kind of area, then you might want to check out these 2 areas. People ask me all the time, this is up 65 North, how far is the drive between Nashville and Hendersonville? Well, as you can see, this is built around the lake and it's very curly, QE, blah. So if you happen to be all the way up here, and we happen to find you the perfect house, and we might right here. As you can see, you'll take some back roads to get to 65 and come on back down. But if we happen to find you the perfect place right here, you're going to have to travel around the lake to get up to 65 and back down. So it just depends on where we find the perfect home for you. Or you might want to go from 65, you may want to go all the way over to Gallatin. Right here, a much smaller area, a much smaller town. Again, pretty sweet. There's some beautiful homes, great golf, great parks, great outdoor life over in Gallatin as well. So lots of places to consider when you're looking over at Sumner County. And let's take a look at going out west out I-40 from downtown Nashville area. If you happen to live there, you might want to live here in the Bellevue area. That's Davidson County. You might want to go out a little bit further. We're going to get into Cheatham County and Dickson County when we go all the way out here. Outlying counties, as you can see, a lot of green space. Kingston Springs is a nice area. Dickson would be probably about an hour and a half from Nashville. Kingston Springs, probably 35 to 45 minutes, depending on how far or what time of day you're going. But this gives you an area of going out. If you want to be in one of the more outlying areas, but easy access into Nashville, because as you see, I-40 is a very easy access, but you want to be more rural, you want more spread out, this might be a really good area to look for. You've also got a lot of the river, which is pretty, and people often ask me about this. I don't want to be in a floodplain area. Don't worry, it's not hard to find you a place that's not floodplain. As you can see, the river runs all around and through Nashville, but at the same point, you don't really have to worry about that in a big way. We can find you the flood maps. We can double check all the homes that you want to look at. And as an aside, my son has an insurance company and he will always look up flood maps for me quickly for my sellers and buyers. But if that's an area and the type of lifestyle that you want, you might want to take a look at it. McEwen is also a nice area to go out there. Waverly, Hurricane Mills, but there's lots of locations. But as you can see, if you happen to be out here toward more west, we're right here begins that Williamson County line. I promised you I wasn't going to try to write Williamson, and here I am doing it. So as you see, Fairview, we mentioned when we were talking about Williamson County, that's the far west side of the county, which of course, if you live here, it would give you easy access to get to Interstate 40, which will give you interstate access to get into Nashville very easily rather than coming down and around. All right, so then if you want to go up from Nashville, start in the same place, we're wanting to be really even more rural. We can come up I-24 and go up north. Springfield, White House is over here, and some of the Sango is right here. Sango is very close to Clarksville in the Military Air Force Base. So we're right up here at the Kentucky line. Okay, let me move the map a little bit and show you how close Nashville really is. People are surprised often about how close we are to the Kentucky line and Clarksville. So we have a lot of people from the military who actually like to own a second home in Nashville, maybe a place to get to the football games or all the things that downtown Nashville has to offer. Especially a lot of the younger people also like to have a condo downtown Nashville and then go to work. So let's go up from Nashville again, back to that baseline, go up 24 to Clarksville. You're going to pass several really good, lesser expensive areas getting on the way. I don't have the map really close up, but there are lots of smaller towns that are very much affordable and easy access. As you can see, this is a very green area, so you've got lots of rural spots that you could enjoy. But when you get to Sango is a very nice area that's very close to Clarksville right here. And as you see, here's Fort Campbell right there. And this is essentially, if I could follow the dotted line, this is Kentucky right here. So it's really not a long distance. And again, it's a very seldom terribly crowded. Once you get it on the downtown Nashville area and a little bit further out, get toward Pleasant View, you're gonna find traffic's not bad. It's easy access just going straight up. A lot of people like to see the Corvette Museum is straight up 24 going toward Clarksville if you are a car enthusiast. I've recently done a video about Pleasant View, sweet little Pleasant View, where the median price points in the, I think I remember it being high threes. I'll double check that. So price points are very different in each one of these areas, and I've shown you going close into Nashville and expanding all different directions in the major towns, major cities, major towns that are within that vicinity. But I hope as you see that there are lots of other more rural, less talked about towns that you could go to. It just depends. What do you want as far as amenities go? How far do you want to be from a good grocery store? And by good, I mean Walmart or Save-A-Lot kind of grocery stores, or do you really want the Krogers and the Publix and the, you know, just a different tier? How far do you want to be from your Home Depot? I often have people say, look, I want to be more rural. I don't want to be in a cookie cutter house. I do want new construction, but I don't want to be a long way from, drive time from some of the things that I'm used to. In our conversation, I'm going to be saying, okay, tell me some of the things you're used to. I don't know you, but I want to know where you like to shop, what you like to do on a daily basis. How far do you want to be from workout facilities, or do you just enjoy getting out and doing a good hike on your own, maybe at Radnor Lake, maybe at Montgomery Bell State Park? Where do you enjoy doing your day-to-day life when you're not working? What do you want your children to be able to be involved with? All these things, I'm going to have conversations with you when you and I talk, which is what we should do next, since you now understand a little bit more about the map and Nashville's layout and Nashville's geography. Okay, so there's one other area that I really want to show you that people are beginning to ask about a lot. Now we're going to go down south. We're going to go down 65, and we're still in Williamson County, about right here, about right in here is when we switch over into Maury County. But you can see another area that I forgot to mention in Williamson County that's gotten to be super popular is College Grove and Arrington. You may have heard of Arrington Vineyards, which is where Kix Brooks has a vineyard and a music venue. Great place to be outside over the hilltops, super music venue. College Grove, these two areas have some enormous homes. It's both very, very rural from the standpoint of Ubers might come out there right now. They may not. I don't know. As of a year and a half ago, I couldn't get an Uber to go out there from a party. But Arrington, College Grove, very popular areas for people who want to maybe have several acres and they have the dollars to be able to bankroll that. This is a super area. It's in the Williamson County area. So you're going to find an area when you get outside of the city of Franklin and in many parts of Williamson County, you've got to have at least 5 acre. I got to check the zoning. Something I always work with you, but you've got to have you're going to have the larger lots. But newer construction in Arrington and College Grove is easily putting you at 2-3 million and more. So as you get to different stages, especially the newer construction, it's getting to be more expensive. But I want to bring you on down. So now we're in further down into Maury County. Then what you may have heard of is Columbia, sweet little Columbia. I love it. So coming on further south, 65, Columbia, I've done some videos on. It's where Historic Mule Day is. It is on the river. It has a lot of outdoor activity. It's got so many things that people really enjoy doing. It's a small town life with 4 center town square. It's got the old buildings. It's got the charm. It feels a lot like Franklin, Tennessee did when I was growing up. So we're talking back in the Stone Ages, about 30, 40 years ago. That's a lot like Columbia feels. Now there's a lot of construction starting to happen, a lot of newer construction. It's more affordable, but it's a place you may want to check out. And Chapel Hill is another area that's far more rural. You see, there's not even white space where Chapel Hill is, but it's a pretty area. Stop where I said, let me get rid of all this. And I'll take you to one other area to show you exactly how to get to it. People ask me about this area a lot too. So let's go back to Nashville. Come on down southeast. We're still in Davidson County at this point. Laverne is an area that you might have heard of. Smyrna is an area that you may have heard of. Still in Davidson County. But we're going down toward Murfreesboro, the borough. And somebody was angry with me the other day because I southernize Nashville. I southernize Murfreesboro. Everybody in Murfreesboro calls it the borough. So just be aware of that. But Murfreesboro puts you probably with traffic time now easily an hour from Nashville, straight down I-24. That's taking you down, of course, down toward Atlanta and some of the other areas, Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's about a 4.5 hour drive, or 7, depending on the traffic when you get to Atlanta. But anyway, it's quite a distance. For somebody who lives in Murfreesboro, to work in downtown Nashville would be tough. And that's again where that conversation has to come in place. I don't want you to fall in love with the home in Murfreesboro. It is more affordable, but if you want to be under an hour in downtown in drive time traffic, that is not a place I would recommend. If you live in Murfreesboro, or you think you might want to live in Murfreesboro, do notice this. You can come up 24. If you happen to even work in Bellevue, or if you happen to work in Franklin, you'd come up 65 north and then use 840 to get across, and then maybe go on up to 65 if you need to, or you stay down here in Franklin. So the long and the short of it is, with enough information about what you do, what you want to do, what you want in a community, I can find you and help you navigate this map, to navigate exactly knowing where the best places to start the search is. Way before we even talk about, I want a 4-bedroom house with 3.5 baths and I want an open concept kitchen and I want a 3-car garage. We need to start further up to really begin to fine tune and find the perfect spot for you. So here's my suggestion. What brought this on? People asking me consistently, I'm considering Murfreesboro, but I'm also considering up in Lebanon. Well, those are 2 totally different spots. That's like saying I want chocolate cake or I want broccoli. 2 totally different things. So we need to have that conversation. Do what so many are doing. Check out this calendar link, get on my calendar. Let's set a 20-30 minute conversation. Happy to go back through the map with you to really talk through a little bit more, because nobody wants to sit on a map drawing for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But if it's important to you, we need to get to the crux of the matter. I am Susan Thedford. I will put in the description down below some of the areas, all of the areas actually, that I have circled, all of the towns, all the cities that I have circled. I think every one of them I have several videos about. I can put some of those in the description box. So if you want to know more about Mount Juliet, there's lots of videos that you can check out, giving you more in-tune information about each one. Until then, if you're considering Nashville, grab my relocation guide. Still doing some more updates on this new guide, but it hadn't changed that much. So grab that relocation guide. Let's start the conversation, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And yeah, native Nashvillians call it Nashville, not Nashville. And we also don't call it Nashville, which is what somebody corrected me on saying. And I politely say, okay, you do you, but the word is Nashville. See you next week.